So this is how Eddie Abbew is making $55,000 a month, and you're still living in your mum's spare bedroom. And even if you're not living in your mum's spare bedroom, I'd probably guess that you're not making $55,000 a month. So you should listen up to this while we break down exactly how he's done it. Before we get into that, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification so you get notified when we do more videos. Now, Eddie Abbew has been all over the internet recently. I've literally not been able to escape him. I don't even care about dietary advice, and it's been absolutely everywhere for a few reasons. One, his ideas and his thoughts have gone viral with everyone else, okay? Second of all, he's stirred up the fitness industry and managed to get every single person talking about him, and he's managed to turn that into $55,000 a month through his community that's $31 per month. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to break down the steps that he's taken to go from basically an unknown retired bodybuilder to one of the most talked about people in the fitness industry to this day, and how he's managed to monetize that into $500,000 a year. So where did this all start? Now, I've been aware of Eddie Abbew for years, not in any kind of nutritional fact, just because I grew up around some professional bodybuilders. Eddie was a professional bodybuilder back in the day. There wasn't that many British pro bodybuilders like 10, 15 years ago, because they only used to give out one pro card a year. Okay, if you're not into bodybuilding, a pro card is basically when you win a certain show, you are deemed good enough to then go and pose in your pants professionally. There's only one of those that they used to give out per year in the UK. So if you got one of those and you were in the industry, people tended to know who you are. Now they give them out like Smarties, so like they're here, there, and everywhere. So it's not really the same thing. But back in the day, you'd have 4 or 5 highly professional level people all competing for this one card. And Eddie Abbew got one, okay? And then pretty much disappeared for a decade. Heard nothing, saw nothing, just a regular guy. And then he exploded on the internet because of his ideas around food. And this is the first thing that I want to talk to you about. It's having a set of values and creating a tribe around the way that you live and around the way that you eat and train, okay? When I first started online coaching and in the fitness industry, one of the big things that I did was I was big into If It Fits Your Macros. If you don't know what If It Fits Your Macros was, it was basically eating whatever fuck you want as long as it fit within your macros that you set yourself. And this was before MyFitnessPal, it was before all of that, so I used an online calculator and I would write things down on a notepad, and that was the kind of way I did my diets. And then when I started to train people, people wanted to come and work with me because I did If It Fits Your Macros. And at the time, everyone else was doing chicken and rice and broccoli and things like that. And that's what allowed me to take on a load of fitness clients, because they wanted to do things my way. Now, when you get into coaching yourself, the natural tendency is to just do anything what everybody wants, like be a bit of a jack of all trades, which is cool if you just want to work in a gym. But if you want to take the online world by storm, you have to have a set of values and principles. That's why people like Joseph Rakic, for example, who's massive on the keto diet, or was back in the day, gained massive popularity because people bought into that way of doing things. People aren't dumb, okay? They understand that if you eat less, you will lose weight. And if you do more exercise, you will lose weight. But it's the method of doing things that really drags people into wanting to do a certain thing. So all of these fad diets you see, like the Cambridge diet and all of those things, it is just a set of strategies and it's just a set of methods. And particular groups of people identify with those methods and they jump on. And that's what Eddie Abbew's done really well, okay? So his thing is like, all natural foods. I'm sure you've seen it. He goes through like the supermarket going, this is shit and this is shit and this is shit and don't eat that shit, and lots of swearing. But the point is that he's created a tribe around the way he does things. If you look in the comments of his videos, if you look in the comments of anything that he does ever, there's equal amounts of people that are defending him as there are fighting with him. And what that does is creates massive engagement on all of his social media, because he doesn't even need to get involved. He just makes the video and puts it out there, and then everyone else drives all the engagement in the comments. That's led him to getting millions of followers in a very short space of time, because he has a very polarizing opinion. Now, do I agree with the nutritional knowledge? No. Do I think that he genuinely believes that that's the best way to live? Yes. Because you can just see it in his vindication, and that's the thing. A lot of people need to be more confident about their values and about their strategies and believe in the way they do things. You're not going to be able to please everyone, but finding that way and finding your set of values and the way you like to do things is key. When I teach people about business, I'm big on going high ticket. I'm big on running ads. I'm big on hiring a team. Is that what everybody wants to do? Is it fuck? But the people that want to charge high ticket, run ads and build a team, then come and work with me, because that's the way I love building businesses, and people either align with that or they think it's stupid. Either way, it works for us, it works for Eddie. So you need to sit down and you need to think about what is the right way that you want to portray your values. Now, the second thing he's done is he's made content that has been slightly controversial. And when I say slightly controversial, a lot of it is massively controversial. What that's achieved is people are taking his content and are sharing it in front of their audiences. Whether it's positive, where it's negative, they're sharing it in front of their audiences. So although Eddie's reach in the beginning would have been very small, family, friends, and people that were into bodybuilding, as other personal trainers started taking his videos and making comments on them, they actually did him a favor. Because what they were doing is putting his content in front of their audience of people that are looking for advice in fitness. And a lot of the time, they would start following Eddie. Maybe sometimes it was through curiosity, maybe sometimes it was through anger, sometimes it would have been through agreeing what he said. And because he's taken that line on things, personal trainer after personal trainer after personal trainer has fallen into the trap of taking his content and putting it in front of their audiences. And I think 90% of the industry has done a better job of promoting Eddie Abbew than they have of promoting themselves, which is quite sad. But that's the way things have worked out for him, which has allowed him to amass a great following. It's allowed him to build a tribe. And then we come on to the final thing that he's done is he's monetized that audience into a community. Now, when you've got millions of followers, I agree that one-to-one high-ticket coaching, he could probably do that and make loads of money if he wanted to, is probably not the easiest, least frictional way of growing a business. If you have a massively, rapidly growing audience of people that are literally like a tribe for you, building an online community is an amazing way to monetize it. And what Eddie Abbew has done is he's used something called School, which is a platform that was made by Sam Ovens, who's like an old school internet marketing guy. He used to own something called consulting.com, I think. I might be getting the company mixed up with something else, but he ran a very successful online coaching company back in the day. He's gone into this SaaS model, which is like software. Alex Hormozy's invested into it. A lot of people use it. We actually use it for our free mentoring program. So for coaches that are between $0 and $3,000 a month, like we have a school program where people can join and they can learn everything they need to do. If you just want to get the link to that, I'll put a link on the video here. You can click onto that. You can join ours. It's completely free. You get an idea of what it's about, and you can also learn something about building an online business. But he set up that community, and then he's able to drive people to it with something called a low ticket offer. Now, a low ticket offer is usually something that's under £99. Anything under 2 figures, I generally count as a low ticket offer, right? But he's managed to do that, which means there are no sales calls needed. All he needs is a page or a video to convince people that the £31 is relevant. And because of his massive audience, because of the tribe that he's built, because of the buy-in that people have with his values, I checked the other day and it was 1.5k members. I checked earlier today, just before I did this video, and it's at 1.8k members. Now, at $31 a month, that's a hell of a lot of money. And I don't know this for sure, but this is what I've heard, that there's actually a couple of lads that have set this up for him. So they've come to him, they've said, look, you've got a massive audience, you think you should monetize it. And they've actually set up and ran the school community, and they will probably take a small percentage of those profits. And there's lots of those kind of businesses that work with influencers and creators nowadays, where they take a small fee and then they run the platform and they run the community, and the creator is the face of it and drives the traffic, and then the people run the back end. It is an extremely profitable, it's an extremely quickly growing business model that if you are able to gather a large amount of people and a large amount of followers, it is something that can work very well. Now, what can you take from this process? Well, there's a couple of things that you can take from this. First of all, if you've got 100,000 followers or more, trying to monetize those people into a community is a really good business model. I would say if you've got less than 100,000 followers or you've not got crazy engagement, probably wouldn't bother with low ticket first, because you'll end up having to work really hard to get people into that process. However, having a set of values and something that you live and breathe, and a method of getting people results that you will literally live and die by, that people will either be for or against, is a massive benefit in online business. Having something that people can either side with or against is something huge that you can take forward. And if you do that correctly, you sit with your values, you live and breathe those circumstances, you can build a massive audience too, you can build a massive business, and you can probably then end up monetizing it like Eddie has done to make what is quite frankly, for somebody that posts very poor nutritional advice on the internet, an absolutely obscene amount of money. So the next time you think about criticizing the nutritional value of it, great, do so, but think about the things that he's actually doing really well, implement that into your own business, and you will probably see way more success than you're seeing right now. So hopefully that was helpful. It gives you a bit of an understanding of how that's all worked and how he's got to the position that he's gotten to. And if you want more advice like that, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.